Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa. I'm going to go ahead and start us off. What we're talking about today is the Chinese approach to death and dying. And we're going to briefly overview Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. And our main focus is Taoism. Okay, so what is Confucianism? It's based off the teachings of a philosopher, Confucius, from 551 BCE. There's been debate about whether this is a religion or a philosophy, since there are no gods, but Confucius is worshipped as a spirit, and many see his teachings as an ethical guide. And this guide is to create strong morals in individuals, leading to a sense of harmony in the world. So, worshiping ancestors is fundamental to Confucianism because it is believed that ancestors will help individuals on the path to harmony. Confucianism believes good moral character is achieved through education, where individuals learn about humility, altruism, and respect. And the golden rule is do not do unto others what you would not want others to do unto you. And then here's just a quote, not knowing life, how can we know death? Why talk of spirits when you do not understand men? And then so next we have Taoism. This is a religion and philosophy founded by Lao Tzu around the same time as Confucianism. And Lao Tzu is kind of a mythical founder. People are uncertain if he was a historical person, but either way, teachings are based around the Tao Te Ching, which is a collection of poetry, stories, and sayings that guide these Taoist beliefs. So, what Taoism does, it teaches all living things should live in harmony with the universe, and that humans, nature, and heaven are all connected. The Tao is the way or force, it's kind of a natural order, and finding the Tao is the right way of life. Um, Teachings are also based around yin and yang, where the world is composed of opposite energies, balancing forces which work together to make the universe whole. So nothing makes sense by itself. And yin represents darkness and cold, and yang is warmth and brightness. Taoism has temples, monasteries, and priests who make offerings, meditate, and perform other rituals for the communities. It's very popular in modern Taiwan, but slowly it's rising and becoming popular again in China. And here's another quote, life and death are one thread, the same line viewed from different sides.
And hello, thank you, Alyssa. My name is Edward. I'll be going over right here Buddhism. Buddhism was found in the late 6th century BCE. Was originally found by Siddhartha Gautama, who is now that we call the Buddha. Buddhism spread throughout Asia, including Korea, Japan, and India, through travelers who walked through this ancient Silk Roads. These travelers who walked through these ancient Silk Roads were thought to be from the Han Dynasty, which is from 202 BCE to 220 CE. The Han Dynasty brought images of the Buddha, and it arrived inside of China through travelers by sculptures. They also used pictures that they had made from these sculptures. The Han Dynasty also had included sculpturing of the Buddha in examples such as the Yungang caves, the Long Men caves, and Maguo caves at Dunhuang. This had shaped the Asian cultures in areas such as art, literature, philosophy, and medicine. Art is influenced to calm the mind and develop compassion, wisdom, power, and healing, and emptiness. Art is influenced to pretty much influence all of these through Buddhism. Modern beliefs nowadays, the concept of mindfulness originated from these cultural beliefs from Buddhism. It is a staple to therapeutic techniques, and these teachings have helped with focusing the mind, practicing meditation, and awareness of self and capacity to reflect. The Buddhist quote here, the secret of health for both mind and body is live the present moment wisely and earnestly. I'll also be talking about the Chinese history. Cultural belief is that Chinese art originally started in the 6th millennium BC by the Neolithic Yangshao culture. Traditional Chinese cultural belief is that art therapy helps with improvement of self-efficacy and social function. They fostered positive engagement with art and improves of psychological stability. The use of traditional Chinese cultural influence inside of Chinese art therapy can be described as holistic, spiritual, and centered around energy circulation. This is also called qi. Modern beliefs now, Chinese art therapy was not introduced till the 1960s. These interventions that have been used inside of group therapy, art therapy, some examples would be Chinese painting, Chinese embroidering, Chinese beading. These also include different views, different methods, such as healing power of art to relieve and stress and anxiety felt by many in our fast-moving modern world. Some of these Chinese painting, embroideries, and beadings also include art making, calligraphy, flower, and bird painting, as shown in the example to the left right here.
I'm going to be speaking about traditions that are done around the death process. There are many traditions in the Chinese culture, and they vary from family to family and from area to area. Like the Taoists believe that death is the awakening and life is the illusion. And they try to live a moral life so that they can achieve immortality after death. For the Chinese culture, the afterlife is to be respected because it is not the end, but rather the beginning. For the Chinese, after death, the body is washed and dusted with talcum powder and dressed in their finest clothing. They make sure not to dress them in red clothing so that the deceased does not become a ghost. The head of the casket will be decorated with wreaths and photos and gifts that honor the deceased. And the front of the casket will have an offering of food, and the person's comb will be broken in half, and half will go into the casket and the other half will be given to the family. In the US, the Chinese wear black to funerals sometimes, but however, it is more traditional to wear white to a funeral. They use a black fabric that is placed on the mourner's clothing that is then to be placed in the casket with the body. To make sure that the deceased is then taken care of financially in the next life, symbolic paper money is burned. The family plays an important role in the death process. It is important for children to care for and honor and respect their parents. So many times they will push for aggressive treatment because they feel it is their duty to provide the best medical care available. The dying will often look towards their family to make all their medical decisions on their behalf. At the funeral of the deceased, the family will throw dirt onto the casket once it is placed in the ground, and the oldest son will take dirt from the gravesite to perform a ceremony at home. Then, after 3 days after the burial, the family prepares for a visit from the spirit of the deceased with an offering of their favorite foods and items. For the mourners, the mourning period depends on the relationship that they have with the deceased. For the spouse, the mourning period is 1 year. And for a child or parent, the mourning period is 3 years. Now we will move on to nursing considerations.
Nursing considerations. We want to look at medication administration, communication, and diet and lifestyle. In terms of medications, instead of saying medications can help or contribute or even ratify health problems, the way we should communicate medication administration is emphasizing the medication serving as a purpose to restore the body's natural functioning, which is something that is valued in Chinese culture. Communication we want to look at because family plays such a huge role in assisting elders at the time of the end of their lives. And with care, it's important to assess family dynamics to completely understand the resources that are actually available to the patient. Lastly, we want to consider Chinese culture, diet, and lifestyle. One big practice is Tai Chi, which originated from Taoist monks, shown to bring a lot of numerous health benefits. It's a low impact exercise that could help with pain. It could help improve posture, balance, ultimately reducing falls. And lastly, we want to honor the significance and importance of yin and yang foods, known as being hot, warm, neutral, cool, and cold. Patients believe yin energy during certain seasons. They feel it has certain disease pathophysiology and impact on their treatment and overall outcome. Moving to our conclusion. So we've gone through a few objectives. We've talked about Chinese philosophy, beliefs, and values. We talked about ways that Chinese Americans communicate and the structures amongst their families. The time concepts amongst Chinese Americans and where that comes from in traditional culture. That time is just one constant linear line, and it doesn't matter which side of the spectrum you're on. We've talked about behaviors of Chinese Americans and different variations. Ultimately, being able to articulate and recognize certain implications when providing effective nursing care with Chinese Americans. And so one thing to keep in mind is that traditional Chinese medicine is one of the oldest and most widespread traditions that could potentially bring new insights to our conventional medical approach. And although a lot of the cultures, a lot of the aspects rooted from religious beliefs, traditional Chinese culture, and medicine generally just surrounds the idea of qi, which is the vital life source, to ultimately live a happy and dynamic and harmonious life, and to see that into the afterlife.